I was talking to a coworker the other day, and he was telling me how his dad, who's in his 70s, all he does is stay at home and watch the news. So, of course, he's completely terrified. He thinks that the virus is going to wipe out everyone, and he thinks that he's going to die of it. And he won't even allow his son to go visit him because he's so afraid that his son's going to bring home the virus and kill him. And I got to thinking about that, like how he's living in fear and everything. And I understand he's in his 70s, he's part of a more vulnerable population. But I also understand how if you just feed your mind that stuff, of course you're going to end up thinking you're going to die of the virus. But I came home and I couldn't sleep at night because I got to thinking about it, and I talked to my wife, and because it kind of reminded me of something, got me thinking about this thing. And I asked my wife, hey, can you tell me that story again from the Bible about when Jesus was walking on water and then Peter jumped out of the boat to go see him, and Peter also walked on water? And I'm not an expert at this story. I'm not a Bible scholar, so there's probably a lot of better people that could explain the meanings behind this story, and I encourage you to read it yourself and kind of come to your own conclusions and see what other people have to say. But in the story, Jesus' friends, they all go out on this big, huge lake, I think more like an ocean probably, but they go way out and they're out at shore, and then they're out at sea and this storm comes and this wind is blowing really hard. The boat is kind of going, there's been a few instances like, but the boat is going, but then Jesus, he starts walking on water and he starts walking towards them. And Peter sees Jesus. And he gets so excited. He's like, Jesus. And he said, if that's you, call to me. And Jesus says, yes, come to me, Peter. And Peter jumps out of the boat and he's running along. He's walking on water too. But then he thinks to himself, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm walking on water. I can't walk on water. The wind's blowing like crazy. He looks down, there's these crazy waves. He sees how deep it is and he gets really scared and he starts to sink. And Jesus, he gives that whole deal of, oh ye of little faith, is what happened is he took his eyes off of Jesus. He took his eyes off of what's good. And that's what caused him to sink. When he started focusing on how deep it is, how troubled the waters are, how windy it is, how bad the storm is, that's when he started to sink. So what's the point? Don't take your eyes off of Jesus. Don't take your eyes off of good. And the bottom line is, there's thousands of things probably that are more likely to kill this guy and kill us than the virus. And the bottom line is, what are our chances of death? 100%. There's a 100% chance we're going to die. So while we're here, we got to live a good life and prepare ourselves for other things to come. Don't go around living your life focusing on what's bad. Don't take your eyes off of Jesus. Focus on what's good.